Good morning. Hope you're all doing well. So today I thought I'd talk a little bit about self-care. If we grew up in a dysfunctional family, or some families don't really allow self-care. So self-care is considered to be selfish. And this is about self-care is not selfish. It's really important because if I take care of myself, that means that I'm taking responsibility for me, and I'm not then placing the burden of that responsibility on somebody else. So what often happens in dysfunctional families is I become responsible for your well-being and you become responsible for my well-being. Because we're not allowed to do anything for ourselves, it's selfish. In self-care, I take care of me and you take care of you, and we're each responsible for ourselves and we're not a burden on the other. And then in addition, if I would like to, I can offer you some care as I may or may not choose to do. So in these families, in my family of origin, perhaps where I learned not to take care of myself, it was very important that I didn't put myself first, that I don't think of me first. But in self-care, I absolutely think of me first. And the useful analogy here is the oxygen mask on an airline. If I don't take care of me and get my needs met, I can't really help anybody else. If I'm tired, then I can't be calm and tolerant and patient with, my stressed spouse or my children who have come home from school after a tough day. If I'm hungry, once again, it's going to be difficult for me to regulate my emotions or to continue to be calm or to think straight. So it's very important that the message becomes instead me first and then others. So not just me first. It's not just about me first. It's me first and then others. In the dysfunctional family, often what happens is others tell me how I feel. And in self-care, I tell me how I feel. I figure it out for myself and I have my own feelings. In a dysfunctional family, quite often we all have to feel a very similar thing. If you're angry about that, then I'm expected to either join you in your anger or help you calm down. But I'm not really allowed to be calm while you're angry. I also need to be distressed. In self-care, I can be the way that I am. Maybe I had a great day at work and I'm feeling fantastic, and you had a crappy day at work and you're feeling shitty. It doesn't then become my job to feel shitty or feel bad about the day at work and depressed just because that's the kind of day that you had. In dysfunctional families as well, self-worth is derived from being productive and helpful and useful. So I'm taught that in order to be loved, in order to be lovable, it's very important that I be helping other people and not myself. In self-care, I understand that I have inherent self-worth and that I can help me as well as help others. So I can take care of myself and help others. In dysfunctional families, quite often boundaries are for other people and not for me. In self-care, it's very important that I put out my own boundaries, that I allow other people to know how I am going to allow myself to be treated by them. In dysfunctional families, we're not really allowed to ask for help, or we're discouraged from asking for help. It's perceived as being weak. And in self-care, it's very important to realize that sometimes the task is too big for me, or I don't have enough time, or it's too complicated, or I don't know very much about it, and I can ask for help. So self-care often means asking for help. In a dysfunctional family, the message is you don't have needs, or your needs aren't important, or your needs will only be met after everybody else's needs are met. And in self-care, it's very important to allow myself to have needs, and quite often to express them, but not necessarily. What's more important is that I meet my own needs, that I'm allowed to take care of myself, and if I have a need to eat, or if I have a need to be calm, or if I have a need to get out of the house for a little bit, that I can meet my own needs. And finally, in dysfunctional families, quite often we're not allowed to say no. So if you're asked to help, or if you're asked to contribute, the default answer is, of course I will, or yes. And we're not often taught how to say no. In self-care, it's really important to start to learn how to say no, and to say no sometimes, to consider, do I have the energy to undertake this task? And if I have and I want to, then I can say yes. But if it's going to detract from my own care and I'm going to be sacrificing energy I need to look after me, to look after you, then I can say no. So self-care is really important. It's not selfish, and actually it is taking care of me so that others don't have to. I hope you found this useful. Please subscribe. Thanks.